Look at the way the left treat the coalition. The ABC, have a look here at Sarah Ferguson, one of the stars of the ABC. And here she is, contemptuous, patronising to a minister, a former minister, a shadow minister, Michael Sukkar. Just have a look at this. And this is who the coalition think they need to win over. Have a look.
I'm going to ask you one more time, and everyone is listening to me ask this question.
Sure.
How many social and affordable houses will you build?
Well, we will fund social and affordable
All right,
housing.
that's it. You're not answering.
Not getting an answer. We are building 55,000 social and affordable homes over 5 years. 28,000 of those homes, Michael.
What would your mother say, hearing you interrupt her?
I've been interrupted the entire time, Sarah.
Just please.
It's okay. I'm unflappable, Sarah. I've done this my third run at this week.
If you would, we are not in a public house.
Wow.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Well, Rowan,
So what
excuse me.
What would your mother say?
Appalling behaviour. Appalling.
Well, you think you host this program? I'm sorry. No. Think about your mother, Rowan. What an extraordinary thing for an ABC host to say to a shadow minister, to say to anybody, really, to an adult man talking to an adult woman. Claire O'Neill isn't some child on a playground that's being picked on by, the bully boy. Yeah. She is a minister in the Albanese government with a senior portfolio, and she's debating her shadow. She doesn't need an ABC host to jump in there and say, what would your mother think about this hectoring? And then she asks a question to Sukkar, who begins to answer it, and immediately she cuts him off. It's like, it was comical.
It's so patronising, but I think more than just being comical, it's disturbing because obviously we're paying $1 billion a year. We expect the ABC to be impartial. I don't think we expect it anymore, but it is in their charter. And yet the bias from Sarah Ferguson was in full display because when it happened the other way, when Claire O'Neill interrupted Michael Sukkar, there were no warnings of what would your mother say about this? You're going straight to detention, young lady. Like that. It was so school mom-ish. I mean, it was actually quite difficult to watch.
But she did point out, I'm sorry, Caroline, she did point out, we're not in a public house. I mean, who says public house?
No one says public house. That's how out of touch she is.
Test? That doesn't
the
pass
public house test.
Maybe if you're watch the
pub,
ABC.
Sarah. It's called a pub.
A what? A what? I don't know what a pub. Yeah.
This isn't a public house. How dare you?
But the rudeness with which the ABC treat any coalition. And I watched the debate, which was on the ABC the other evening. I watched it so that the rest of the nation did not have to, obviously. But again, the same patronising treatment of Peter Dutton with David Spears, who used to work here, sort of saying, do you accept that climate change is responsible for the weather you're seeing right now around you? And Peter Dutton was, of course, to bow to the mantra and say, oh, yes, I accept that we're seeing impacts of climate change. I mean, this was just insane stuff. But this is what you've got to do for the ABC. If we had some kind of Trumpian leadership, if we'd seen, what Peter Dutton should have said is, no, I don't believe, stand up for what I believe. But what Sukkar should have said is, Sarah, no one is watching your show. Your ratings are falling, which is why we're going to abolish you when we get into government.
I'm sure that would have been very popular with
and
the
your
ABC
mother
audience.
and your mother will probably be pleased because she's probably watching Outsiders right now. That's what he should have said.
So
That's what he should have
But
said.
you know what? That is what is missing. And I think Michael Sukkar would be one of the few MPs who would be up to that task.
He would be, exactly.
He would absolutely, but obviously...
If the coalition weren't gun-shy.
They are so gun-shy, as you said earlier. Jacinta Price had to essentially apologise or explain herself for saying that she wants to see Australia be great again. I mean, this is what it's been reduced to. And if you want to fight an election campaign on your knees, then good luck to you. You ain't going to win. Conservatives only win when they fight from a position of strength. And we saw that in the Voice referendum. Against all odds. We know it can work despite everything you hear. Australians are overwhelmingly sensible. they're overwhelmingly, I shouldn't say overwhelmingly, but they are still majority Conservative leaning. Even in Victoria, we saw the Voice defeated, despite the fact that the No camp had very meagre resources to fight that campaign compared to the Yes side. So it is doable,
and it's not
it
as-
is completely achievable, and they are botching it, Rowan.
And it's not as if there aren't genuine issues there. Caroline, tell us about Morgan Cox, who was on Q&A a few weeks ago. We played the clip here on Outsiders complaining about the housing problems. He's actually taken, his protest into his own hands. He's camped outside Albanese's infamous Copacabana beach house. Where
Which
he's,
mansion, please? 4.3 million.
Albo Cabana, there it is.
Yes, so
And,
this
tell
is
us,
his
Caroline.
tent that he set up. Now, Morgan Cox was a rare voice of common sense, I think you can say, on the ABC. He was a dad who appeared in the audience of Q&A a few weeks ago talking about his housing situation. He has a 1-year-old child. He said that the rent has gone up. They can't meet their rent payments, and they're at risk of homelessness. He works 2 jobs. It's not like he's unemployed or struggling to find work. He is in work. He's in 2 jobs, in fact, and he still can't afford his rent. So after that Q&A appearance, he did appear on our own Paul Murray Live. Let's take a look at what he had to say there. I think we have the grab. Oh,
No
okay,
grab.
we don't have that grab.
You can
I'm
act
afraid.
it out,
You know, he
Caroline.
also made the powerful point that we're in this situation because of successive governments bringing in hundreds of thousands of
And that's
migrants
the key
every
point.
year. And the
Yeah.
Albanese government has supercharged that. They brought in, around 1 million in 2 years.
Yep.
So what, you think we're not going to have a housing crisis when we've got all sorts of supply issues, where we've got unions making the construction of homes so expensive. There is just so much outlandish regulations, red tape, green tape, black tape. So we don't have the supply. We've got 1 million coming in a couple of years. And you've got Australians like that working 2 jobs, facing homelessness.
And where was the coalition's come out with a policy to, I think, reduce immigration by 25%. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, talk about timid and talk about, you come out and you say,
Slash.
we are slamming the door shut for 2 years. No immigration for 2 years because we're way ahead of ourselves. In 2 years' time, we'll then look at maybe opening the doors a little bit. But we're going to cut it back. Honestly, drives me nuts.